Make Walters your first stop on July 4th. Walters is opening at 9 a.m. ahead of the 11:05 Nats game against the Red Sox. Walters is located across the street from the ballpark.
The 2-0 from Dietrich ends. Swing and a drive. Deep right center field it goes. Way back toward the wall, and it's gone! Paul DeJong's first homer as a National is a 3-run shot, making it 5-3 Nats here in the first inning. Outfield around to left again on Wood. The 2-1 pitch. Swing a long drive, deep left field toward the corner. This one's over Green's head, and it is gone. It hits the top of the wall and off the flower bed. It's a home run. They throw it back in. Wood stopping at second. Now he'll round third. He'll come in to score as James Wood, on the day he finds out he's going to the home run derby, hits number 23. A line smash that bounced off the top of the wall into the flower bed and out. And the Nationals lead it 6-3. 3-2 on the way. Wood hits a line drive right field. It's down for a base hit. It's a 5-hit game for James Wood. James Wood, first career 5-hit game. 4 singles and a home run. Then a rocket shot into right field. A bullet of a base hit.
And welcome to Nats Chat. I'm Al Galdi, host of the Al Galdi podcast. Mark Zuckerman is off for this installment of the podcast, but we say happy July 4th, which is one of the great days on the National schedule each season. The annual July 4th, 11:05 a.m. home game. I'm a big fan of this tradition. Nats versus the Boston Red Sox at Nationals Park Friday morning at 11:05 in Game 1 of a 3-game series. Before we go any further, something very special for you later in the show. Part 1 of a conversation that the owner and executive producer of this podcast, Tim Shovers, had with Masson Orioles analyst and former Orioles starting pitcher Ben McDonald about LSU starting pitcher Kade Anderson, who is a candidate to be taken by the Nats with their number 1 overall pick in the 2025 MLB Draft. While yes, the Nationals have the number 1 overall pick in the 2025 MLB Draft, which will take place on July 13th and 14th, it is important to remember that there are really good players all over the place in MLB drafts, and take the Nats' best player, James Wood, as a prime example. This does not get talked about much, but James Wood is a second-round pick. The San Diego Padres took Wood out of IMG Academy in Florida in the second round of the 2021 MLB Draft. He was not some top 5, top 10 pick. He was a second-round pick. This past Tuesday, July 1st, marked the 1-year anniversary of the Nats promoting Wood to the majors, and Thursday ended up being quite the day for Wood, and what has become quite the season. The Nats outslugged the Detroit Tigers 11-7 at Nationals Park on Thursday evening to win the series 2-1. The Nats in MLB's 2025 regular season now are 37-50. The Tigers in this regular season now are an American League best 54-34. The Nats just took 2 out of 3 games against the best team in the American League. A really good series win for the Nats, and James Wood had some Thursday. So Wood on Instagram on Thursday afternoon announced that he will be participating in the 2025 T-Mobile Home Run Derby, which is happening at Truist Park in Georgia on Monday night, July 14th. 100% the right call to have Wood in this Home Run Derby. The Home Run Derby is a great way for MLB to promote stars. Wood so is a star, and his national profile is rising. And for whatever it's worth, the Nats have a very good Home Run Derby history, right? 2 Nats outfielders have won Home Run Derbies. Bryce Harper won the 2018 Home Run Derby, which took place at Nationals Park, and Juan Soto won the 2022 Home Run Derby, which took place at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. And then Wood, in this 11-7 win over the Tigers on Thursday evening, was outstanding. He, as the Nats starting left fielder and number 2 batter, went 5 for 5 with a solo homer, an RBI single, and 3 other singles. Yes, 5 for 5. Not a bad way to celebrate being in the Home Run Derby. Wood, in a Nats 1-run second, had a 1-out opposite field solo homer to left field for a 6-3 Nats lead. Not a bad way to prep for the Home Run Derby. This is James Wood's age 22 season. How about what he is doing in this regular season? Number 1 among all qualified Nats players in OPS at 958. Number 1 on the Nats in home runs at 23. And just getting away from the stats, already we can say that James Wood is legit. Already we can say that James Wood is a great MLB hitter. Look at how quickly we have been able to arrive at that declaration. That's how good this guy has been in his brief time at the major league level. Here was Nats manager Davey Martinez during his postgame session with reporters on Thursday night on James Wood.
Well, just watching him, over the years, close to 300 doesn't really surprise me. The big thing is when he gets the ball in the zone, he's really good. He's chasing less. He's hitting the ball. He's hitting the ball the other way, like we always talk about. He's pulling the ball when he needs to. So he's doing everything I've saw him do, in the minor leagues, throughout the minor leagues. So it's awesome to watch him go out there and hit the way he hits. He's been great.
Yes, he has been. I, on Thursday night, posted this on X, where you can find me, at Al Galdi. Washington, D.C. has the number one first/second-year quarterback in the NFL in Jayden Daniels, and the number one first/second-year hitter in MLB in James Wood. How nice is that, right? The Commanders, Jayden Daniels, and the Nats, James Wood, two young superstars. The Nats in this 11-7 win over the Tigers on Thursday evening were tremendous offensively. The Nats scored 11 runs, totaled 15 hits, worked 3 walks, and went 6 for 17 with runners in scoring position. The 15 hits were 2 home runs, a double, and 12 singles. Paul DeJong, he is the Nats starting DH and number 6 batter, went 1 for 4 with a 3-run homer. DeJong in a Nats 5-run first had a 1-out opposite field 3-run homer to right center field for a 5-3 Nats lead. Maybe the feel-good moment of this game. So good to see DeJong do that in just his 3rd game back off having been on the 10-day injured list from April 16th to July 1st. This due to a fractured nose that he suffered in the Nats' 3-0 win at the Pittsburgh Pirates on April 15th. And, when the Nats reinstated Paul DeJong from the 10-day IL, I said, I don't know how much of DeJong we're going to be seeing with Brady House entrenched as the Nats' number 1 third baseman and C.J. Abrams, of course, entrenched as the Nats' number 1 shortstop. But we actually ended up seeing DeJong play in each of the 3 games in this series against the Tigers. Alex Call, he is the Nats starting right fielder and number 5 batter, went 3 for 5 with a 2-run single, an RBI single, and another single. Are you aware of the production that Alex Call is giving the Nats this season? Might he be emerging as a, dare I say it, trade chip for the Nats? Question mark. I don't know if we can go that far, but he's having a good season. Alex Call, now for this regular season, 198 plate appearances, OPS of 794. He has been productive. And I mentioned Brady House. He is the Nats starting third baseman and number 7 batter, went 1 for 5 with a 2-run single. The Nats starting pitcher in this 11-7 win over the Tigers on Thursday evening was Jake Irvin. He was coming off a really bad outing. Irvin in the 15-9 win at the Los Angeles Angels late night this past Friday night officially allowed 9 runs, 8 earned in 4 1/3 innings. Irvin in this win over the Tigers on Thursday evening once again had a bad first inning, but he once again was really good after the first inning. This pattern has been amazing, how often this pattern has held in Jake Irvin starts this season. So Irvin on Thursday evening, 3 runs in 6 innings. He gave up just 3 hits, which were a home run and 2 singles. He issued 3 walks. He recorded 4 strikeouts. He threw a whopping 107 pitches, 68 strikes versus 39 balls. So all 3 of the runs that he allowed, all 3 of the hits that he allowed, and 1 of the walks that he allowed came in the top of the first, during which he gave up a 2-out full count 3-run homer by Spencer Torkelson on a moonshot to center field. The homer went a projected 428 feet per Statcast, concluded a 10-pitch plate appearance in which Torkelson was down at one point 1-2. Jake Irvin for this regular season is dead last among all qualified starting pitchers in the majors in first inning ERA, 9.53. The Nats' Mitchell Parker is next to last, 8.47. Yeah, the Nats have the 2 worst first inning pitchers in the majors. But Irvin, beyond these first innings, has done well. His overall stats, 18 starts, ERA of 4.71, whip of 1.29. And did you know that Irvin has been the workhorse of the Nats pitching staff? He's number 1 on the Nats in innings pitched, 105. A negative for the Nats in this 11-7 win over the Tigers on Thursday evening was the bullpen. I know, shock face, but 4 Nats relievers combined to allow 4 runs in 3 innings. Cole Henry allowed 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning. He, in the top of the 7th, allowed 2 runs on 4 singles. Jose A. Ferrer faced 1 batter and got 1 out. Brad Lord allowed 2 runs in 1 inning. He, in the top of the 8th, allowed 2 runs on a hit by pitch, a wild pitch, a walk, an RBI single, and an RBI ground out. But Kyle Finnegan tossed a perfect perfect top of the ninth for the save. Also regarding the Nats bullpen, reliever Andrew Chafin is back. The Nats on Thursday afternoon announced having reinstated Chafin from the 15-day injured list, which he had been on since June 14th, retroactive to June 11th. This due to a right hamstring strain. The corresponding roster move was the Nats optioning reliever Ryan Ludis to AAA Rochester. There was something else from Davey Martinez's postgame session with reporters on Thursday evening that stood out to me. Take a listen to this from Martinez on this win over the Tigers.
Just the way these guys played. I mean, they were relentless tonight again. Their bats were really good all day, and Jacob, after the first inning, settled down, gave us 6 strong innings, which was awesome, man. Hey, I can't do what I do without those guys in there. So I appreciate what they do. Thank you to the Washington Nationals for giving me the opportunity to do what I love to do. So let's go. I traded all in for another World Series. I can tell you that. So, but let's keep doing what we're doing. I mean, we're playing well right now.
Okay, so did what stood out to me stand out to you? Davey Martinez, quote, "Thank you to the Washington Nationals for giving me the opportunity to do what I love to do," end quote. Now, let's establish this. This win for Davey Martinez on Thursday evening was his 500th regular season win as Nats manager. This was a milestone win, so him thanking the Nats may have simply been about the milestone. But keep in mind, the Nats on August 22nd, 2023, officially announced having agreed with Martinez on a multi-year contract extension. The extension reportedly was a 2-year contract extension with an option for a 3rd season. That 3rd season is next season, so he is not under contract for next season. And the belief is that the deadline by which that option must be exercised is sometime in this month of July. Davey Martinez, quote, "Thank you to the Washington Nationals for giving me the opportunity to do what I love to do," end quote. Maybe that was just Davey Martinez being nice and we shouldn't read anything into him saying that. But maybe that was him, shall we say, lobbying, or shall we say, buttering up management, or shall we say, making it clear that he wants to remain as Nats manager, that he wants management to exercise that club option for him to be the team's manager for the 2026 season. We just don't usually hear Davey Martinez say stuff like that. Quote, "Thank you to the Washington Nationals for giving me the opportunity to do what I love to do," end quote. Next up for the Nats is a 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox at Nationals Park. Game 1, Friday morning at 11:05, Michael Soroka will be the Nats starting pitcher. Game 2, Saturday afternoon at 4:05, Mitchell Parker will be the Nats starting pitcher. Game 3, Sunday afternoon at 1:35, the Nats starting pitcher is to be announced. You can find us on X at Nats_chat. You can find us on Blue Sky at Nats Chat Podcast. You can email us natschatpodcast@gmail.com. And we have a website that we invite you to check out, natschatpodcast.com, at which you can purchase a Nats Chat podcast t-shirt. All Nationals radio highlights on Nats Chat are courtesy of 106.7 The Fan. So 1 week from this Sunday will be day 1 of the 2-day 2025 MLB Draft, which is taking place at the Coca-Cola Roxy in Georgia. The Nats in the 2025 MLB Draft have the number 1 overall pick. There are multiple players coming up as viable candidates for the Nats to take with that pick. One candidate is Oklahoma high school shortstop / third baseman Ethan Holiday. Another candidate is Florida State starting pitcher Jamie Arnold. Another candidate is University of Tennessee starting pitcher Liam Doyle. And yet another candidate is LSU starting pitcher Kade Anderson. Masson Orioles analyst and former Orioles starting pitcher Ben McDonald. He is an LSU legend. He, while at LSU, won the Golden Spikes Award for the 1989 season. The Golden Spikes Award is like the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy for college baseball. The owner and executive producer of this podcast, the great Tim Shovers, he had a chance to talk to Ben McDonald about Kade Anderson. Here you go, part 1 of that conversation. Hey, it's Al Galdi for Window Nation. The humidity is rather thick. You've got the AC running on blast, the fans on, and the shades closed, but the heat still seems to be seeping into your home. That is, until you replace your old, drafty windows with energy-efficient, top-quality windows from Window Nation. And right now, you can get 50% off all window styles plus 0 interest for 5 years. You heard that right. With Window Nation, you won't pay any interest until 2030. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com and tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast. Also, know this, Window Nation will get the job done in a day or less. Window Nation's installation crews have over a decade of experience, so you can feel comfortable knowing that your windows are installed right the first time. Don't procrastinate another day. Save yourself another month of living in discomfort. Don't miss Window Nation's biggest deal of the year, 50% off all window styles now through July 31st. And remember, that comes with zero interest until 2030. 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. And tell Window Nation that you want the deal that you heard about from Al Galdi on the Nats Chat podcast.
A half a dozen strikeouts through 4 innings for the guy that posted 170 during the regular season.
Pleased to welcome Ben McDonald. You hear him on Orioles games on Masson. You know him well. We had Ben on a few years ago as he's an LSU alum, and he called the College World Series in Omaha. So we're going to talk about Kade Anderson as the Nats own the number 1 pick. But also, Ben joined us a few years ago to talk about Paul Skeens and Dylan Crews. Ben, your scouting report on Paul Skeens was on the money. I got to give you credit and props on that one. But what do you think so far of Dylan Crews since he has made the big leagues last August?
Yeah, I mean, Dylan is kind of doing what I thought Dylan would do. I just go back to his freshman year at LSU. There was a lot of swing and miss there. He cleaned it up his next 2 years. I knew at the big league level that his first year would be some swing and miss there. He'd hit the ball out of the ballpark every now and then. As you know, he's a ground ball, line drive guy. I think he's going to learn to get the ball in the air a little bit more at the big league level. And he's kind of doing what I thought he would do. One thing I knew he would do, he was going to be a leader. He was going to play the hell out of defense like he has. He was going to get the ball. He has no fear of the wall and going to get the ball. Like, he really wants to win. Like, he's a gamer. He's a dude. And so I've not been surprised at all about the way he conducts himself on defense. I knew he was an elite defender. I know the Nats have, a plethora of defenders in the outfield that can really go get the ball. But Dylan can play center field, as you guys have seen. You can stick him in right field because he's got a big enough arm. And, of course, he can play left field, too. So you give Dylan Crews enough at-bats at the big league level, give him 600, 1,000 at-bats, he's going to be a real dude for you down the road. There's no doubt about that.
Let's talk about the man of the hour, Kade Anderson. His complete game shutout in Game 1 in Omaha in a 1-0 classic against Coastal Carolina. Tell our listeners, what's his pitch arsenal? What's his fastball? What's his out pitch?
Kade Anderson's a guy that just blew up in the draft this year. When the season began in the college ball back in February, he was projected by a lot of publications to go middle second round, late second round, man. But I'll tell you what, he grabbed a different gear this year, and he added a slider. He's always been a fastball, four-seam guy, and a curveball and a changeup. When he added a slider this offseason, Nate Yeskie, the pitching coach at LSU, is as good as there is. Worked with Kade a lot, and it's a real, and when I say real, it's a real 4-pitch mix. Like, he can throw all 4 of them just about any count when he wants to. It's a lot of pitchability with him. The fastball will tick up at 96. I've even seen it at 97. It's going to average around big league average, about 94, 95. It's going to be in that range, but it's left-handed. And I think there's another jump in there for Kade Anderson. I say that because it's only his second year. He's a draftable sophomore. And at LSU last year, he showed well his freshman year, but he took an elite jump this year. And so he doesn't walk guys. This is what I call big league ready pitcher. I don't know that he's a number 1 or a number 2 at the big league level, but I think he's a solid number 3 that could improve from there. And he's a guy, I think, no matter who drafts him, he's going to be in the big leagues in a couple of years. I just think all the college pitchers I saw this year, he's more big league ready than most of them are when you look at the entire package. I've seen better stuff, better fastballs, better breaking balls, but when you talk about pitchability and being ready to go perform at the big league level, I think he's right there, And this year's draft, from what I'm hearing from GMs and from some scouts out there, it's not the strongest draft out there in the last few years. It's a little bit weaker draft than in years past, but there was only a couple guys that I saw when I looked at starting pitchers in the college game. I said, that dude is going to be a starter at the big league level. I look at Kade Anderson and I see that. I think he's one of the few that are out there in this year's draft that actually projects out as a big league starting pitcher.
Jamie Arnold of Florida State, Liam Doyle of Tennessee. Do you think they're big league starters?
No. Doyle, to me, has a great arm, big-time stuff, but he walks too many guys, and he pitches up out of the strike zone, has a lot of success out of the strike zone. We know when you get to the big league level, dude, hitters don't chase that ball up out of the zone until they get to 2 strikes. And so for Liam Doyle, for me right now, he's a reliever you stick at the back end. Now, I'm not saying he can't be, because if the command gets a little bit better for him and he has more in-zone success, I think he could be a starter. But from a mechanical standpoint, I don't really like his mechanics a whole lot. I think it's max effort. It's wide open. It almost screams reliever to me, where I look at Kade Anderson and I go, this is nice and smooth. The ball comes out of his hand. This kid's going to last right here. He throws a lot of strikes. And so Jamie Arnold's another left-hander over at Florida State, and I do like him too. But again, I think it's more out of the zone success than it is in-zone success with him. And again, I'm not saying he won't be a starter either. When we're comparing those 3 pitchers, Kade Anderson for me is further along and more big league ready to be a starting pitcher right now.
It seems like college pitchers are making the big leagues quicker than ever. This week we saw Chase Burns in Cincinnati do so. Do you think Kade Anderson could be in the big leagues by 2026?
100%. 100%. I don't doubt that, because I like to look at jumps. How do you jump from your freshman year to your sophomore year? How do you jump again? I think there's a different gear in there. I think there's another big jump for Kade Anderson. I think if you look at him on the mound at 6'2", 6'3", but it's a kind of skinny kid, right? I could project him out a few years from now and say, okay, he's going to put on 10 or 15 pounds this offseason, and all of a sudden the velocity could very well sit at 95, from the left side. And you add that slider, that curveball, and a real changeup to the mix. I think there's a jump in there for him. And if you told me that next year, maybe toward the end of the year next year, with whoever drafts him, if it's the Nationals, I could see him coming up in the month of September next year or August, being a force and being in that rotation the following year. I really think he's the kind of guy that can make that jump.
He's leaned on that changeup tonight. Will he do it again? 0-2. Pulled, strike 3. Perfect pitch from Anderson. Another base runner and another punch out to end it